Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. That's it. I am so amazed how I see TikToker, influencer, podcasters, YouTubers, majority most people in the world, mom slewers. Am I saying it right? Well, anyway, that they are so invested of getting to the bottom of the truth of what happened to Charlie Kirk on September 10th, that he was assassinated. And we all, including myself, we all invested in this. We all want to know the truth. We all want to know transparency. And it seemed like we're trying to get to the bottom of this than the FBI. It seemed like the FBI is just giving us breadcrumbs and not making a whole lot of sense what they're saying about the whole investigation of Charlie Kirk, that they got the shooter, but and the text messages between the shooter and his love interest, but the text messages doesn't make any sense. I feel like the text messages were created by AI because two 20-year-olds don't talk like that, and I read those text messages to you in my last video. The text message doesn't make any sense. I feel like that was just all made up and fabricated, in my opinion. And I just don't understand why the FBI, our government, don't want to do a full investigation, to do a full, you know, to gather all the information. Yes, I'm aware that it's still under investigation. Yes, I'm aware that gathering information and put pieces together for them to conclude what really happened. But then make it seem like it's just one shooter when I believe there's multiple people were involved. I believe that Tyler Robinson was not the shooter that shot Charlie Kirk on top of the roof. There was another shooter at a different angle, and the FBI is not showing that. They're just showing us, footage of Tyler Robinson getting off the roof, climbing down. We don't know how he got up there in the first place. They're not showing all the angles, and on top of that, UVU have surveillance cameras everywhere in that campus, and I don't know why the FBI is just giving the bare minimum and showing less videos of what really happened instead of the whole thing. That doesn't make any sense to me. And now we're not FBI agents. I'm not a forensic person, but we do have common sense and we do can see. And I wrote down lots of notes, and I'm doing my own, investigation about what really happened to Charlie Kirk and the assassination on 9/10, and looking at videos and putting bits and pieces together among like other people are too. And I just don't understand why we all invested. We all seeking the truth, what really happened to him. And I feel like the FBI do not want to know the truth. And when you have podcasters and Marines and TikTok influencers are trying to get to the truth and trying to give the FBI hints and help them out, because it seems like they really need help, because it seems like they don't want to do the full investigation of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They just want to do the bare minimum. Yes, we got the guy, case closed. When no, there's more to it than that. There's more evidence out there that we all can see, and including me, and I just don't understand why they're not presenting that, and why they're shutting down people that's actually telling the truth, and actually it makes more logical sense opposed to what the FBI is telling us. I just don't understand that why. It's like they don't want to know the truth, what really happened to Charlie Kirk. They just want to set this narrative for us to see and for us to accept, and then that's it. Well, I'm sorry to break it down to you. We're not accepting what you're telling us, okay? Some people may have faith in the FBI and our government. Some people don't, because FBI, the government, tends to lie about things and not be very transparent of what really happened. And I just don't understand why they're not seeking the truth, why they're trying to cover things up and not release information that we all should know. I get it, it's still under investigation, but what the narrative that they're telling us, the officials, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm not a detective, I'm not an FBI agent, I don't do forensics, but I do have common sense, and we are allowed and to ask questions about what happened. And I have several questions that I would like to know, and hopefully they can, tell us, like, who wanted Charlie Kirk dead? Why? And they were like saying that the exit wound, like the bullet was not, and it didn't hit his the back of his neck, which clearly it did because there's videos and footage of that, which I'm going to share to you. I'm not going to share you the graphic gore because out of respect for the Kirk's family, but I'm going to show you pictures because what the FBI is saying, it doesn't make any sense. The narrative is just wrong. Okay, so and then this mystery guy, no one's not talking about this mystery guy. And that's just very bizarre to me. Again, there's cameras everywhere, footage everywhere, and I just don't understand why one they're not talking about this mystery guy that's just all in black. Doesn't even look like a man, to be honest with you. Once I show you the picture, it looks like a post. I can't even say it. Let me just read it here. Make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Prosthetic face. He has black gloves. Don't know why he's wearing black glove, and I believe it was very hot that day. And he had a suit. He doesn't seem like a professor to me, in my honest opinion, but they overlooked that and they didn't even notice that. That was a little fishy, which I'm going to share to you. It just something does not seem right. So I'm going to show you pictures, and then I'm going to show you videos of what I have discovered and what people have shared with me, and then I just want to share with you guys to get your perspective and your outlook of all of this. So what I'm gathering here, and I wrote this on my notes. Charlie Kirk was shot from his back right, okay, from his neck, where the bullet exit wound and the blood splatter was coming from out through the exit wound. Now that's a close distance where the shooter was actually at. So it cannot be Tyler Robinson shooting Charlie Kirk on top of that rooftop. What they were saying, it's just clearly impossible. Which I'm going to show you a video and a diagram how where Tyler Robinson was and where the actual bullet came from hitting Charlie Kirk. And also, Charlie Kirk was shot from the back of the head. They're saying that he was not shot in the back of the head. Clearly, he was, and that the shot was taken from the front, and it was they're saying that it was not taken from the front, but it was taken from the back. So I'm like, I'm a little confused by that when they say that. So I'm just gonna read my notes again. It says the shot was not taken from the front; it was taken from the back. So why they're saying that it was taken from the front? Because clearly it was not taken from the front; it was taken from the back. So I don't understand why the official saying this whole narrative, which is not true. And the question is why? Why are you saying that? Why are you telling the public that when it's actually not true? Also, what I noticed too that was really suspicious to me, that they paving the area where Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Why? Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. That's still a crime scene. That's still a crime scene. So why are they covering up where Charlie Kirk um, got assassinated? Is it because there's a hatch underneath there that they don't want people to know? Because a lot of people were talking about this hatch, including Candace Owens and among other podcasters, Heavy Duty Country. He was talking about it as well on his podcast, this hatch, and I've been getting pictures and videos of this hatch and how it's being paved. Why? It's still a crime scene. Unless the FBI gave the UVU clearance to do that. But we don't know that because, again, the FBI is not very transparent. There's no what's going on, which to me, that's a little fishy and that's a little red flag. But anyhow, I just want to show you a picture. If I could just pull it up. Okay. So this is before Charlie Kirk got assassinated. This is a picture of him holding a microphone. And as you can see, I'm going to widen it bigger for you guys. If you can see the red mark, that's where he got hit. So if you look at this line, this was a potential shooter. The shooter was there. That's where the bullet hit Charlie Kirk. Obviously, the bullet did not hit was on top of the roof and hit Charlie Kirk, because then it would have hit his head opposed to his back of his neck. So it doesn't make any sense. So clearly the shooter was on the other side of the campus in the other angle, which I don't understand why the FBI is not releasing these type of photos when they're only releasing certain type of photos. Doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, second photo. Now, this is Charlie Kirk, and his face is blurred, respect for the Kirks. Now, what I'm looking at here is where the bullet would hit him and then hit through the back of his neck, through the other side where you see the arrow, and that's where the blood splatter and everything happened, which I'm going to show you the third picture of him, and you can see the puncture wound where the bullet hit through his neck. That makes more sense to me opposed what the government is saying, because it doesn't make any sense. This actually makes more sense what I'm looking at and what I'm seeing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I'm just asking the questions here. I'm just asking the questions. Now, this is the hatch that everyone was talking about. Is it possible there's another tunnel underneath the campus? I'm not sure. I don't have the floor plan of the whole campus, but that looks a little suspicious to me. And the hatch is open right there as well, and that's where Charlie Kirk was, the tent and everything underneath, not underneath, but that's where Charlie Kirk was at, and that's where they're covering, doing the pavement around that area. Why? That's the question I'm asking. Why? It doesn't make any sense to me that they would do that. Again, it's still a crime scene unless the government, the FBI is saying there's no longer a crime scene, they can continue doing what they need to do. But to me, that's a little red flag. And is it possible? Where does it lead to? That's the $1,000,000 question. Where did this hatch lead to? And that's something that we need to know, because it was like, what, 48 hours and they pave it? Why? Why would they build a layer of concrete over a crime scene? And it's still an investigation. So as a I can't even speak. I can't even speak. I am so sorry, you guys. As I know and aware, the investigation is still not finished yet. You know what I mean? It's not done. It's still ongoing. So I don't understand why they have to pave that area. Now I'm going to show you clips of videos, and this is the strange guy that I was telling you about, this mystery man. And I don't know how anyone is not pointing this out. I don't know why they're not investigating it. And I should, you know what I should do? I should a picture to make it more sense, because this video I can blow it up a little bit so you can see. Let's see, make it bigger for you guys. Okay. But look at this video. He just looks very mysterious. As you can see on my right-hand side, you can see the black glove. You can see the glasses, the face. To me, the face doesn't look real. It looks prosthetic to me, again. And that does happen. Not happen, but FBI and CIA, they do that. You know, they use prosthetic masks, hands, you know, to disguise themselves when they're doing operations, when they're going to do deep, dark, operative, you know, missions or whatever, to disguise themselves. Now, again, this is just what I think that is, because he looks too very pale, and I'm not saying people can't be pale and pale skin, but this guy doesn't look normal to me. Okay, he's wearing all black in a suit. He does not look like a professor. He does not look like a bodyguard or security guard. It just looks very suspicious to me, and I just don't understand why they're not questioning that. But take a look. Now, pause. Now, does that look like a normal face to you? I don't know. It looks creepy. It looks like like he looks like a ghost. Okay, doesn't look right. And this dude, he's like, something looks off about this guy. Off. But then, there was all this crazy madness that was going on and everything. And he probably thought in his head, it just looks suspicious. Okay. So that looks weird. That looks very suspicious to me. Okay. And I just want to read to you because I looked this up in AI because I had to ask AI, even though I don't really trust AI, but I asked AI about prosthetic disguises. And it says the FBI and other intelligence of law enforcement agency have used advanced disguises, including masses and facial prosthetics to undercover operation, but not in Hollywood style, the way some might imagine. Facial prosthetics and disguises agents like FBI and CIA is a history used prosthetics, fake nose, chin, scars, or full facial overlayers to alter appearances during operative, cooperative, operations or undercover work. And the same thing with CIA. So is it possible? Yes. It's the CIA. It's the FBI. They have this guy do undercover disguises to disguise people. What makes you think that might be it? That might be possible. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it can be. It's possible. It's possible. But let me show you another video. Now this is where the workers are paving the area, the crime scene, which I don't understand why they're doing that. It just seems very suspicious to me, but take a look. Okay, that's that. And I'm going to show you a TikTok video of this woman was talking about how they were working on this crime scene and paving that area where Charlie Kirk was assassinated.
They have now removed the grass where the Charlie Kirk shooting took place and are now laying down pavers. I am now even more confused. There was grass there before. Why remove the grass? Here's another view of them doing that. This is absolutely the spot where it took place. Another creator on here actually posted the full video showing everything. You can see the flowers over here for the memorial of Charlie. Showed a glimpse of where they're saying the shooter was up here on the roof.
Impossible.
I just don't understand it. What is the point of doing this? And a lot of people are talking about the little trap door here. So what my understanding, what I've gathered is that they do like plays and stuff here, and that's the little door for like electrical stuff down there. Not sure how true that is.
Now, when she said electrical stuff, when I was watching Candace's last video, she was talking about there was electrical or some type of power. I can't remember, power stream or power line or whatever underneath, and it's connected somehow. It's connected because that's a trap door. So is it possible the shooter went through that trap door to position himself to assassinate Charlie Kirk? It could be possible. But my thing is, why the FBI is not investigating all this? Why they're not doing all, you know what I mean? You have all these TikTokers just asking the questions. You know what I mean? And I just don't understand why the FBI is not investigating more of this, because there's more to it than just Tyler Robinson. There's more people were involved in this, and I just don't understand why they're not doing their jobs. And then you have people like me and everyone else is trying to investigate and try to get to the bottom of this, to get to the bottom of the truth. And at least Mrs. Erica Kirk deserved that. I just don't understand. I really don't.
That's just what I've been reading. Or even for like the stunts of the play, or so people can go down there. Whatever, I don't know. Those are the.
Well, I don't know either, but there's more to it than that. That trap door, I call it. I said a hatch, so excuse me. It's a trap door, and it doesn't make any sense. It's like this man, Charlie Kirk, was God first in his family and his country. He loved his country, and for for the FBI don't want to find out the truth. What happened to this man who helped Donald Trump to get elected, helped young voters to vote for him, and what he has fought for this country. I just don't understand why the government is not doing the absolute damn best to find out the truth about this, to go to go heaven and earth to find out the real perpetrators, find out if there's more people involved. I don't know why they're not doing that, why they doing the bare minimum. What are they hiding? Why they don't want the truth? Why they're not seeking the truth? And why they're giving pushback? Why social media outlet is turning down people when they're telling the truth? It's like when you tell the truth, they try to shut you down. But when you spill lies, it's okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there's some, YouTubers and, podcasters, sometimes they don't really care. They're just spinning this to get, viewers and subscribers, whatever. But for the majority of the part, you have people who really cares and who really is investing in this to get to the truth, to get to the bottom of the truth. And I just don't understand why the FBI is not working so hard to get to the bottom of the truth. They shouldn't be sleeping. They should be. I just don't get it. They should just be laser focused in finding out the truth, what really happened to Charlie Kirk, and not just say, okay, we got our guy, we got our shooter, that's it. When it shouldn't be that's it. There's more people involved, okay? Tyler Perry, and I stand by this, he is not the shooter. He is not. He is not the shooter. He was a decoy, just like George Zinner. He was a decoy too. I shot him. He confessed, and then when I was watching the video, he was like telling people, "Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me." Why would he say that? Why would he confess when there's no gun? Why would he tell people to shoot him? So if someone was crazy and unhinged and had a firearm on him, because most people carry their firearm, then they would shoot him because they would believe what he said, and boom, they got the guy, and the real shooter got away, which the real shooter actually did get away. You get what I'm saying? So all this was a distraction. All this was planned out, okay? He was a decoy boy. Tyler Robinson was a decoy boy as well, and the real shooter got away. And I just don't understand that. The FBI, to me, in my opinion, have dropped the ball, okay, because the real shooter is out there, and they're going to let Tyler Perry take the fall for it because he doesn't have an attorney. No one doesn't want to represent him because this is just natural, this news is worldwide, and no one doesn't want to take this case, and he needs a lawyer to represent him or a public defender to represent him. No one doesn't want to touch this. He's not talking to anyone. I wonder why. He's keeping his mouth shut. He's telling his lover to keep his mouth shut. If that's even true, what the text messages is transparent, which I believe that's fake and bogus. It's just a lot of nonsense. But next video that I want to show you about the trap door that the young woman was speaking about on her TikTok video, and it just looks very, very suspicious. So take a look. Okay. Lastly, but not least, Candace Owens, and I wanted to share this video with you so she can give you her perspective of this trap door and how something doesn't seem right. So take a listen to what Candace Owens has to say.
some people have speculated, he was shot from a closer distance. I started wondering, was there an access point to any valves? Were there any pipelines that could have been under Charlie? And as it turns out, I looked at some old pictures of where he was sitting, and there was a massive pipeline that was almost exactly behind where Charlie was sitting. Here's that maybe it's a water pipeline, I don't know, but there it is under the flag. And to your right, I went into my tips line, and I saw that somebody had messaged me about this. More than one person messaged me about this. They're like, hey, yeah, there's like a whole underground thing there. And to your right, you're observing those two little boxes, and they told me that was a trap door. Now, I'm not implying someone, popped up and shot Charlie, but that's a close-up of that area. I'm just implying that there's an entire underground there. And I remember when I looked at the footage, I felt like it was coming up. I don't know anything about ballistics. I'm not an expert. But if there was a hatch door nearby, then we can assume, as we should always assume with colleges, obviously stadiums, there's always an underground path. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if the federal government has explored the possibility that somebody could have been under Charlie and done that.
That's a great question. And that's the question that we're asking. Have the FBI explored that option? Because to me, if that is true, and if that is the case, then what happened to Charlie Kirk, how he got shot, that makes more perfect logical sense opposed to the other narrative that the shooter, Tyler Robinson, was on the roof and he shot Charlie Kirk. Which, by the way, he didn't even have that gun in his possession, okay? Because when the whole incident went down and Tyler climbed down the roof, he left a screwdriver, but he didn't have the rifle with him. He just had a dark cloth, which was a towel. So where was the weapon? And then the FBI said they found the rifle in the middle of the woods somewhere, all intact. It was not dismantled, which that didn't make any sense to me. I'm not a gun person, but I'm going by people who are experts with guns and rifles, and that's clearly impossible for Tyler to do quickly. Okay, so that to me, that didn't make any sense. The other footage of video that I showed you, that makes sense. Okay, where the shooter was possibly would have been. But let me know your thoughts and your opinion about this. This is a still ongoing investigation. Whatever information I know that I'm going to share with you guys, but none of it makes any sense. And I just have to commend each and every one of the podcasters, the YouTubers, the TikTok influencers who are investigating in this, who put in the effort to get to the bottom of the truth, including me. I commend you because it seems like we want the truth more than the FBI do. The FBI is trying to cover this up, wrap this up, case closed, and that's it. No, this is not going to be case closed. This is not going to be like JFK and MLK. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We want to get to the bottom of the truth, what happened to Charlie Kirk, because his wife, his children deserve that. They deserve answers and they deserve transparency. They don't deserve cover-ups and half-ass and try to keep this to yourself. This is not going to be like Epstein files, okay? We will not allow that, okay? We will not. Just like Candace Owens says, over our dead bodies. Okay? See you guys tomorrow.